Hello, and welcome to the Gamer's Closet. I'm your host, Douglas Weed, and we are right around the corner from Thanksgiving, so I thought I'd show a game that sparks nothing but camaraderie, food, and a good time by all, and especially is from California history, my home state. So today we're going to be talking about Donner Dinner Party. Donner Dinner Party is a game that was manufactured in 2017. It seats anywhere from 4 to 10 players, runs anywhere from 30 minutes to 60 minutes, depending on how many players you have, and it is rated for ages 12 and up. But let's dig into it a little further, shall we? The Donner Party, sometimes called the Donner Reed Party, was a group of American pioneers who migrated to California in a wagon train from the Midwest. Delayed by a multitude of mishaps, they spent the winter of 1846 to 1847 snowbound in the Sierra Nevada mountain range. Some of the migrants resorted to cannibalism to survive, primarily eating the bodies of those who have succumbed to starvation, sickness, or extreme cold, but in one case, 2 Native American guides were deliberately killed for this purpose. The 87-member Donner Party found themselves trapped in snowbound conditions in early November, and 3 different relief parties were sent out in the beginning of the next year, which the final party arrived on the 14th of March to rescue the remaining survivors. Only 48 members of the Donner Party survived. Many of those were either widowed or orphaned. The area where the events took place became a national park with over 200,000 visitors a year. And the Donner Party is enshrined in folklore and California history, as well as a dark chapter of the American West. Donner Dinner Party is a game that was created by Chronicle Books in 2017. It has the moniker of being a rowdy game of frontier cannibalism. Who is safe when there are cannibals hiding among you? That is the question at the heart of this fast-paced game of social deduction in which cannibals and pioneers face off in a fight for survival. Set in the winter of 1846, players are members of the ill-fated Donner Party wagon train stranded atop a mountain with no food. Who will avoid becoming tonight's dinner and make it off the mountain alive? And who are the suspicious scoundrels hungry for human flesh? The party goes hunting regularly to try to survive, and the cannibals will try to thwart these efforts since they really prefer the taste of human flesh. In the end, if the number of cannibals equals the number of pioneers, the cannibals win. If the pioneers survive 7 weeks without this happening, they win instead. This game does contain multiple pieces. It contains 1 campfire board, 1 camp leader tile, 10 character tokens, 40 hunting cards, 10 roll cards, 12 supply cards, and 1 metal frying pan. To set up this game, create a deck of rolls using the following number of cannibals. In a 4-player game, use 1 cannibal. 5 to 7 players, use 2 cannibals. And in an 8 to 10 player game, use 3 cannibals. Then add Pioneer roll cards until you have as many cards as there are players. Set aside any remaining roll cards. They will not be used. For each roll card used, take the corresponding character token and place it on the campfire board with the character side up. Set aside any remaining character tokens. They will not be used. Shuffle the deck of roll cards and deal 1 card face down to each player. Each player privately looks at their roll cards, then places it face down in front of them. Do not let anyone else see your card. Roll cards are revealed only when a player is voted to be eaten. Please note, while you are a living player, other than claiming to be a pioneer or a cannibal, you may not describe or refer to your roll card or the corresponding character token in any way. Place the frying pan on the number 1 on the campfire board. The frying pan is used to track the rounds of the game. In a game with 4 to 6 players, you'll be rescued after the 6th round. In a game with 7 to 10 players, you'll be rescued after the 7th round, as it takes additional time to get your large party out of the mountains. The last player who went on a trip and survived will be the camp leader for the first round. The person takes the camp leader tile. If there's any debate, select the first camp leader by whatever means you deem fair. Each round, the camp leader gets to inspect one player's hunting card and has the power to break ties during a group vote. The camp leader tile will rotate throughout the game. The camp leader takes the hunting deck and shuffles it. Unless you are playing a 4-player game, which is a game that has only one cannibal, cannibals must identify each other before the game begins. All players, including the camp leader, close their eyes, put their heads down, and drum on the table. The camp leader announces, "Cannibals, raise your head, open your eyes, and silently acknowledge one another." After about 5 seconds, the camp leader then announces again, "Cannibals, put your head down, close your eyes, now everyone open your eyes." Set aside the old tasty supply card unless you're playing by the optional rules, which I will cover the optional rules in a moment. Shuffle the supply cards and deal one card face down to each player. Set aside the remaining supply cards. They will not be used. Each player privately looks at their supply card and places it face down in front of them. Do not let anyone see your supply card. Supply cards are revealed only when they are played. Each round represents 1 week trapped in the mountain pass. Each week, players must hunt for food and contribute to the camp dinner. If there is not enough food in the camp dinner to feed every living player, you must conduct a group vote to determine one player to eat. That player is eliminated from the game and their role card is revealed. The camp leader draws one card from the hunting deck and places it face down in front of them. This card will be their contribution to the camp dinner, but they may not look at it. The camp leader deals 3 cards from the hunting deck to each other living player. All players who have not been eaten are living. Players look at their hunting cards, choose one to contribute to the camp dinner, and place it face down in front of them. Remaining cards are discarded face down next to the hunting discard area of the campfire board. Each player puts their finger on top of the face-down hunting card that they are contributing and waits for the camp leader's inspection. The camp leader may now inspect another player's hunting card by looking at it before it is contributed to the camp dinner. The camp leader may not show the inspected hunting card to anyone else, but may discuss it. The camp leader collects all the contributions, including their own and the card they inspected, shuffles them, and turns them all face up to reveal the camp dinner. A fish feeds 1 player, squirrels feed 2 players, poison renders all fish and squirrels inedible, medicine counteracts all the poison, and empty hands does nothing. If any poison was contributed to the camp dinner, it renders all food inedible. Conduct a group vote unless medicine was also contributed. If any medicine was contributed to the camp dinner, it counteracts any and all poison. If the total amount of food fish and squirrels contributed to the camp dinner equals or exceeds the number of living players, everyone survives the week. No group vote is conducted, and the round ends. If there is not enough food to feed all living players, you must conduct a group vote to determine which player will be eaten to sustain the rest of the party. In a group vote, leave the camp dinner face up for everyone to see. Players have up to 2 minutes to make accusations and arguments about which player should be eaten. The camp leader will then call for a vote. Everyone counts to 3 and then simultaneously points at the player that they are voting to eat. Players cannot vote for themselves, and ties are broken by the camp leader. The player voted to be eaten is eliminated from the game. They must reveal their role card. If they have not played their supply card, they place it face up next to the campfire board. The eaten player removes the character token that matches their role card from the campfire board. The number of pioneers and cannibals remaining is represented by the character tokens remaining on the campfire board. Supply cards have red text on them that tell you when you may play them. To play your supply card, announce that you are playing it and read it out loud. Then place it face up next to the discard area of the campfire board. All supply cards that have been played or that belong to eaten players are visible throughout the game. Please note you never have to play a supply card if you don't want to, except for Old Tasty, which I will again cover the optional rules in a moment. All supply cards may be used only once per player. At the end of the round, advance the frying pan 1 space on the campfire board and pass the camp leader tile to the first living player to the left. The new camp leader collects all the hunting cards back into one deck, shuffles it, and begins a new round. The game ends when one of the following conditions are met. For the cannibals to win, at the end of a round, if the number of living cannibals equals or exceeds the number of living pioneers, the game is over and the cannibals win. This is represented by the number of character tokens on the campfire board. The pioneers can win in two ways. One, if at the end of a round, if all the cannibals have been eaten, the game is over and the pioneers win. Or, if at the end of a 6th round in a 4 to 6 player game, or at the end of a 7th round in a 7 to 10 player game, there are more pioneers than cannibals, then the party is rescued and the pioneers still win. The third and final win condition involves playing with the optional rules. If the player with the Old Tasty supply card is eaten, the game is over and the cannibals automatically win. This game does have two different sets of optional rules. First off is Old Tasty. If there are 6 or more players, you may include the Old Tasty supply card. If someone is dealt this card at the beginning of the game, regardless of whether they are a pioneer or a cannibal, they are now Old Tasty too. This player is now so delicious that if they are eaten, the party converts to cannibalism and the cannibals win. Given that there is always more supply cards than players, the Old Tasty supply card may or may not be dealt during a game. The second optional rule involves ghosts. In any game, you may add ghosts. With ghosts, the players who are eaten become a ghost and continue playing as a pioneer or a cannibal, but with limited capacity. When a player is voted to be eaten and removes their character token from the campfire board, they flip the token over to the ghost side and place it in front of them to show that they are now a ghost. Ghosts can no longer say words, though they can make sounds. They do not participate in the hunt, and they cannot be directly addressed or asked questions by other players during the round. During a group vote, when all players are pointing at each other, the ghosts may move their ghost token in front of any voting player and shout "boo." That player is scared off into the woods, eliminating their vote from that round. If the camp leader is scared off and the result of the vote is a tie, the next living player to the camp leader's left becomes camp leader and can break the tie. Then remove the ghost token from the game. It can only be used once. A ghost token can affect only living voting players, not other ghosts. A couple of quick tips that are included in this book that I feel I should mention. Cards may be shown only when the rules state that they can be revealed. However, unless you are a ghost, players are free to talk any time during the game and may tell the truth or not. Players will want to contribute fish or squirrel hunting cards to make sure the party is fed and survive another week without a group vote. Cannibals will want to contribute empty hands or poison hunting cards to keep the party from being fed to force a group vote. Both pioneers and cannibals may want to contribute medicine, either to counteract poison or to avoid contributing food at all. However, the cards each player is dealt from the hunting deck might limit their options regardless of their role. Pioneers have 3 sets of information they can use to determine who is a cannibal. Hunting card claims. Players may choose to claim which hunting card they contributed to the camp dinner, truthfully or not. The camp leader's inspection. The camp leader looks at one player's contribution each round and may choose to share that information. Or how one player consistently votes for or ignores other specific players may hint their alliances. Well, this has been an overview of Donner Dinner Party. Donner Dinner Party is an interesting game. The game looks really, really nice. It has a nice small board to it. The cards look great. The artwork on the game is exceptional, and it has a very nice frontier Donner Party theme to it. If you haven't played social deduction games before, like this one is, social deduction games are where you have to try to figure out who the bad people are, and you can potentially play good people, but you're not quite sure who is who, and then there's a secret role behind everything. So as a social deduction game, I think this one stands up to most of them that you'll find out on the market today. The game is very compact, so it's very easy to move around, and it is well boxed. I think the way components fit in this box, it's a very easy game to haul around. Now, theming on this game. Theming on this game is very, very dark, but I think after 177 years and with some of the other games that are out on the market today, I think this game is a little on the tame side. Granted, the theming on it might not be appropriate for younger kids, or some people just might find it distasteful. But I picked up this game from Barnes and Noble several years ago and was laughing the entire way home because it's such a crazy concept, especially the frying pan token. That really sent me to that next level of what the heck am I playing. Now, I have played this game multiple times at gaming conventions where I always have a full table of people, which make this game great. If you haven't played Donner Dinner Party before, I'd recommend taking a look at it. The game itself goes online anywhere from about 10 to 20 bucks, so it's relatively easy to find. It's very easy to play. One thing about this game I do want to mention is make sure you keep liquid away from it. The cards will swell, the board will warp very easily. If you spill anything on these cards, it will kill them. They will not be easily playable ever again. So you want to make sure you keep this game away from liquids. This here is actually the second copy of this game I picked up because the first copy got damaged by liquid. So, like I said, the game is very easy to play, very easy to learn. If you have a gaming group or a game night, this is a really good option, especially if you have a lot of players. It can get really interesting really fast, trying to figure out who the cannibals are, who the fellow pioneers are, who's really trying to sabotage this. If you can get past the theming on it, this is a really, really good game. Now, like I said, it's not a very kid theming game, but if you have kids that understand this is just a game and they can get over the morbidity to it, I think they'll have a good time. Now, like I said, this event did come out of California history, so technically you could use this as a learning tool for kids if you really want to open that discussion. But past the theming on it, it really doesn't do a whole lot to actually do anything historical. So on that aspect, I think it's a gateway to a conversation if you want to go down that road. But as a game for game nights or something like that, it's a really good option for you. So if you haven't played Donner Dinner Party before, I'd recommend, if you'll forgive my pun, of sinking your teeth into this game, because I think you'll have a really, really good time with it. Well, that's it from us here at the Gamer's Closet. We'd like to thank you for checking out our game of Donner Dinner Party from Chronicle Books. If there's a game in the future you'd like us to review or go over, please put it in the comments below. Please hit subscribe so that way you can be the first to check out our future content. And as always, please have a great gaming day.